I'm feeling quite talkative today, so let's go over there and make a fourth video. Today we're talking about another LA Kings thing, and I spaced this one out intentionally because we did upload a Kings-related video earlier today at noon, and thank you to those who did comment and reply on that Quinton Byfield video. It was a very, very fun one to talk about. But we had ourselves some other Kings news that I hadn't covered on the channel yet. In fact, there are so many other pieces of news that we can make videos for, but it's just overwhelming to say the least, and to make a video for everything would be me just burning through every gameplay I have and not really spending some time away from the computer. But let's talk about another one of these signings. Now, there were a lot of signings today, but one of the ones I wanted to talk about was Andreas Athanasiou going over to the LA Kings on a one-year, $1.2 million contract. Now, this is actually pretty good for the LA Kings because they're in a position where they acquired a guy for free who has had some NHL success in his past and who has a lot to prove in the NHL still. Now, he may be a full-time NHL caliber talent, but at 26 years old, Andreas Athanasiou is in a spot where, as a guy who formerly got 30 goals for the Red Wings in 2019, he was on the tail end of a few really interesting storylines. He was part of a long holdout a few years ago that put him in a weird spot on the team and amongst the fans, but Andreas Athanasiou, after playing with the Detroit Red Wings and getting those 30 goals, was not the same player the following year. Then he got traded to the Edmonton Oilers, which is the funniest thing in the world now. We already made a video talking about how that trade was an utter failure for the Oilers squad, but the Oilers ended up trading away seconds, 2 seconds by the way, and Sam Gagner for what was Andreas Athanasiou and Ryan Kuffner, who is going over to Europe, so the Oilers pretty much just lost 2 seconds for nothing. Well, not nothing, I guess, because Andreas Athanasiou played 9 games in the regular season for Edmonton and 4 games in the postseason where he went pointless. This is funny. This is really funny, because if you take a look at how things actually went down, here's a comment from the Detroit Red Wings subreddit earlier today, talking about just how Andreas Athanasiou going over to LA is really not all too great for the Oilers. The Oilers were handcuffed by what they would need to pay to qualify him and his poor production that did not match that value. The argument that he didn't play enough in Edmonton, while sure, that holds weight, doesn't take into consideration the fact that Andreas Athanasiou wasn't just going to get handed minutes, and he did have some, albeit yes, brief, chances with top players. Athanasiou is a complicated player to build a line around, and he needs to shape his game to accommodate. He still was a -45 player after all. But for a guy who held out for $3 million to drop out to 1.2 for a year, yeah, that's a prove-it scenario right here. Now, you can talk about the attitude issues or the work ethic issues or whatever, but that's not what I really wanted to focus on here, because at the end of the day, the LA Kings are taking on a guy for $1.2 million who is a very talented player. It's just inconsistencies and overall work ethic related issues have been a part of his game the past few seasons, which is one of the big reasons why he had 30 goals before, but with the contextual circumstances of the contract and all that other stuff, the last place by a mile Detroit Red Wings team didn't even bother to keep him. But for Edmonton, man, haha, that's funny. 2 second-round picks for 3 games of Athanasiou and 1 goal. That's funny. Hope you enjoyed this video, Josh Ross 99, and bye.